What is up, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. And today it is USHL Sunday, and I forgot to update the title for the second week in a row. Love to see it. I did update the title for the most surprising NHL teams, which we are also doing today. A pretty packed day today. We review today's 4 USHL games, yesterday's 2 Four Nation NHL games, both the USHL standings, and the most surprising NHL teams. So yeah, let's get into it here. And starting with the US. Oh yeah, we got a few shout outs to do here. I thought I was getting away with it here. They getting away without some shout outs here. So yeah, go follow my X page if you haven't already. Repost things frequently on there. The Intermission Podcast is in this description of this podcast episode and previous ones. Go follow this. Go subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you like these podcasts, like this video if you haven't already. If you like this video, this podcast episode, and USHL Sundays and together, let me know that you guys like this. And post notification show if you haven't already. It's the only place you know right before go live. Follow this podcast if you watch this on Spotify. Follow my Facebook if you haven't already. The Intermission Podcast blog, that's in the description of this podcast and previous ones. It's the only place you get my daily NHL and USHL predictions, and it's the only place you know right before I go live. Release, you turn on post notifications to this YouTube channel, which I just said to do. If you haven't already, you should definitely do that. Go ahead and follow my Instagram. It's in the description of this podcast and previous ones. The Intermission Podcast, same thing as my TikToks, the Intermission Podcast. My website's USHLkid.com, Spotify, the Intermission Podcast, and Spotify. All that stuff. My Twitch Discord, and the USHL discussion group with about 5.2 thousand USHL fans, and the Big Fine Saints for Life group is about 1,000 Big Fine Saints fans. All of that and more is linked in the description of this podcast episode and previous ones. Go ahead and make sure to check that out if you haven't already. But without further ado, let's get ahead and go into this slate of USHL games. Legacy hosted Youngstown Phantoms for the third night in a row. I don't know if they hosted them on Friday, but I know they played them on Friday, and then they hosted them on Saturday, and they hosted them again today. Youngstown Phantoms get away with 2 points at extra time again. This time it's in a shootout, 2-1 to 29-20 in favor of Youngstown. Youngstown controlled this game a lot more than they did yesterday's game. They got 2 points in extra time in both of them, but Youngstown deserved these 2 points more than they did yesterday for sure. Both teams in 0-for-3 in the power play. Youngstown gets the extra point where they deserve today. The extra point they got yesterday was not deserved. Chicago unable to pick up 2 points in these games that they really need to. But luckily for them, Cedar Rapids Rough Riders get knocked down by the Big Fine Saints and Dubuque. Dubuque improved the record to 31-13-0-1. Cedar Rapids goes right back to being below a hockey 500. Dubuque goes 1-for-5 in the power play. Cedar Rapids goes 0-for-3. 28-27 in favor of Dubuque. Very, very close, action-packed game. From start to finish, Dubuque goes up 2-0 with 2 quick back-to-back goals, and then Musa scores in the second period. Dryden answers right back. Dryden Allen, and then Vig early in the third. Brings it back within 1 for Cedar Rapids, and then Slezak ties the game. And then Jonathan Morrell, second of the night, 16:06 in the third period. A great goal, great in the bumper spot on the power play. A quick little toe drag release, absolute snipe, top shelf. Dubuque hangs on to win 4-3 at home. They are one of the hottest home teams in the entire league this season, winning a lot at home lately. Madison Capitals take down the Des Moines Buccaneers at home. The shots are 27-21 in favor of Madison. Madison does not get a power play opportunity in this game, but Des Moines gets 2 of them, and they fail on both of them. 3 goals in the second period from Madison really puts them over the edge. By Ryder, Yorkamp twice, and then Capel gets 1 in the third period. Shaw gets a lone goal for Des Moines. On the night, Madison picked a huge 2 points as Des Moines fails to get 2 points. If they got 2 points, I believe they'd be tied for a playoff spot out of the West. If they fail to do that, yet again on the road, Fargo Forest pull up. What is being upset? A slight upset in Sioux Falls in overtime. Is Finn McGlone 3:22 in the overtime. Silences Sioux Falls in Sioux Falls. It's just 38-22 in favor of Sioux Falls. Sioux Falls 100 million% deserve those 2 points, but they're unable to get them. 0-for-3 in the power play was Sioux Falls. 0-for-2 was Fargo. 36 saves and 38 shots against, I believe, Landeck for Fargo, but either way, great performance by them. Fargo find a way. They do get outplayed heavily for most of the game, but they find a way to get to 2 points, and that's what matters at the end of the day. Is if you get the 2 points or not, right? Like that's what you need. And I've been the prettiest win, but you got the win at the end of the day. Let's go over the standings pretty quickly here because I'm in a bit of a time constraint here, but we'll make this a good podcast episode. Last. Number 1, the Eastern Conference is the Big Flying Saints, 31-13-0-1 for 63 points, 6-4 in the last 10. They're a bit shaky there for a minute, but they lose on Friday. Then okay, guys, we need to start winning. As a Saints fan, I said that for sure. But either way, in general, the Saints are like, come on, guys, we need to win. And then we get a huge win on Saturday over Des Moines, in overtime, and then. Yeah, another huge win over Cedar Rapids today. I believe they're 1 game away from clinching the Cowboy Cup. The 6th straight Cowboy Cup, something like that. 1 or 2 games away. Either way, very, very close to clinching the 6th straight Cowboy Cup. 4 points ahead of Muskegon with 1 extra game played. So yeah, we're gonna see how both those teams finish the season. Very good race that's gonna be. But speaking of Muskegon, they're number 2 in the East right now. 26-11, 3-4 for 59 points. 6-3-1 in the last 10. This team is very good as well. Great goaltending, phenomenal goaltending tandem at that. Great defense. Offense has been great for the past month or two. Been great. Seeing Lumberjacks just right up there with the Big Flying Saints for the best teams in the East for sure. 3 Madison Capitals, 26-11, 3-1 for 56 points. 8-1-1 in the last 10. This team's on fire right now. This team seeming to not be able to lose right now. Cape Heil, whatever. It's been great. As of late, offense been on fire. With great offense most of the time. So yeah, Madison Capitals really, really just cooking right now. Speaking of cooking right now, we got Youngstown Phantoms in number 4 seed right now. Out of the Eastern Conference, they have 27-15, 0-1, and 0-1 for 55 points, 1 point behind Madison with 2 extra games played. They are 8-2 in the last 10. This team's also on fire. Madison and Youngstown are on fire right now, respectively. Alright, that's gonna be interesting to see who gets the number 3 and 4 seed, or if any of those teams are able to move up. Because Madison has a better point percentage as Muskegon right now. So that's going to be interesting to see there. Number 5, Green Bay Gamblers, 23-21, 1-1 for 48 points. 4-5-0-1 in the last 10. They have 3 more games played than Youngstown and 5 more games played than Madison, and have 7 and 8 less points in them respectively. Not looking good for Green Bay to try to catch up to Youngstown and Madison, especially since those two teams are on fire, and Green Bay is very, very consistent. So we're going to see how Green Bay responds throughout the last stretch, through their last 16 games of the season. Number 6, Cedar Rapids Rough Riders, 20-21, 1-2 for 43 points. 94-0-1 in the last 10. So yeah, Cedar Rapids 10 points ahead of a playoff spot over Chicago right now, and about 18 above Team USA. They're in the driver's seat right now for their last playoff spot of the East. 100% control of their own fate. They should be able to make it, but not impossible for them to blow it. Honestly, at this point, it's not impossible. So if you hear any background noise, but number 1 in the West is Lincoln Stars, 31-12-1, 63 points. They have 199 goals, which is far and away the most in the USHL. They are 1 goal away from reaching 200. They're 9-1 in the last 10. They just had a 12-game losing streak before they lost 7-3 on the road in Sioux Falls. The night before, they beat them, smacked them 8-3, I think, or something like that in Lincoln. This team's the best team in the USHL as of late. They have proven that. Saints are tied with them, but Lincoln has 1 game in hand. So let's see what they do with that extra game. But Lincoln and debut for the Anderson Cup is going to be one interesting race. 2, Sioux Falls Stampede. 28-11, 3-1 for 60 points. 5-3-2 in the last 10 games. Sioux Falls right there with Lincoln, 3 points behind them with 1 extra game in hand. They lost to them on Friday, but they beat them on Saturday. So yeah, that's huge for Sioux Falls. They play them twice this weekend, I believe. So that's going to be 2 huge games again between these 2 top dogs out of the West. the likely Western Conference Finals, honestly, between Sioux Falls and Lincoln, looking like they're falling away the two best teams out of the West. Never know, team like Waterloo or Fargo's getting quite hot, might get hot for the playoffs. Waterloo might pull up some upsets. Sioux City, you never know, but we'll have to see what happens there. Number 3, Waterloo Blackhawks, 22-13, 5-4, 53 points, 6-4 in the last 10. This team has been winning quite a bit of games as of late. They look like they started figuring out for the most part and starting to win quite a few games. Number 3, 4, and 5 in the Western Conference is very, very, very tight right now. But number 4, right in the middle of those three teams, is the Fargo Force, 24-17, 2-2, 52 points, 5-5 in the last 10. They sweep the weekend. 3 huge wins, 6 points for Fargo Force. Catapults them to number 4 in the West. They needed those points right there. They needed those wins to get them under the belt. Two games that they should have won for sure. Against Omaha, they got the job done. Smoked them in the shots category, but had to beat them in extra time. And then they pull up an upset in overtime in Sioux Falls. Very impressive win for them, as they are riding a 3-game win streak. A sweep on this weekend, trying to ride that wave. Can't speak. Ride that wave into next weekend. Try to pick up another few points next weekend as they try to catapult themselves up to number 3 in the Western Conference this weekend, and then try to get themselves even closer to number 2, maybe even number 1. We're gonna see. There's plenty of games left. Number 5, the Sioux City Musketeers, 22-16, 3-4 for 51 points, 6-3-1 in the last 10. This team's also finding a way to win games a lot. Recently, Waterloo has one game in hand on Fargo and Sioux City, still looking like they definitely are able to control their own fate when it comes to getting number 3 in the West and playing more than likely the Tri-City Storm, but definitely could be the Bucks. Still, but we'll have to see, but they control their own fate. Waterloo, for sure. So Sioux City, looking great too. You never know, they could easily jump up to number 4, even number 3 in the West. For sure by the end of the season. Obviously, they can jump up further, but it's likely if they were to jump up a couple spots, it'd be to number 3. Number 4 and number 3 is where the sights are set on right now. They'd way rather play Tri-City than Fargo. Fargo is not the best team out of the West, but they can definitely win some games. Tri-City is definitely worse than Fargo, at least they have been this season. Playoffs is a completely different ball game. And a bad team could be great, a great team could be bad. Completely different ball game come the playoffs, but right now, heading into the playoffs, if the playoffs started today, you would 100% rather be in Waterloo spot and host Tri-City than be on the road in Fargo. I promise you that. So, and if you were to have to play Fargo, you would definitely want to host them. So you would at least want to get 4 if you're Sioux City, because you would not want to go on the road in Fargo. That is a bad thing for you, because Fargo's not phenomenal at home, but trust me, Fargo's a tough place to play, especially in the playoffs. Number 6, Tri-City Storm at 19-21, 2-1 for 41 points, 4-6 in the last 10. This is definitely, if you're in the Western Conference, this is the team you want to play. Again, you never know. They could play a freaking rabbit out their hat and start playing phenomenal in the playoffs and pull some upsets like the number 60 to Lincoln Stars did last year over Waterloo in the first round. But this team doesn't have the same hope and flashes that last year's Lincoln Stars team did, because they had a phenomenal goaltender in Jan Shostak, who they still have this year, by the way. Been absolutely lights out this season. But that's not the point. That's not what I'm saying here. But what I'm saying is that kind of goes into my point. They don't have those great flashes. They don't have those great flashes like last year's Lincoln team did. They don't. They really don't. They just don't show that much promise, at least not in my eyes. I feel like if Waterloo, Fargo, Sioux City even plays them, I think either one of those 3 teams could handle Tri-City pretty easily, especially since Tri-City would be on the road and those teams would host them. I think those would be a pretty easy series for those teams. I mean, obviously, in the playoffs would never be an easy series, but you get what I'm trying to Are you picking up what I'm trying to put down? I think you got it. F7, Des Moines Buccaneers, 18-24, 3-0 for 39 points, 2-7-1 in the last 10. This team's had so many chances, chance after chance to at least tie Tri-City for that last spot in the playoffs, but maybe even overtake it. But the 2-7-1 in the last 10, shot themselves in the foot way too many times. They just can't seem to get over the hump and get a W when they need it most. If they do find a way to get in the playoffs, that's not good if they can't pick up wins when it matters most. Tell you that, trust me, the playoffs are when it matters most. Number 8, Omaha Lancers is 6-31, 5-1 for 18 points. They are on a 25-game losing streak right now if you include extra time. I think that's all that needs to be said. I think confidently that's all that needs to be said. You're on a 25-game losing streak if you include extra time. Which I do personally. But I need to do that. But my confidence, what I think the regular season standings are going to be by the end of the season, as of right now, to do every USHL Sunday and NHL Monday for that matter, but USHL Sunday in this particular matter. Number 1, the East to be Front Saints. I still think the Saints can be able to hang on. Number 2, I could see Madison getting number 2 in the East, but Muskegon has been less streaky than Madison, because Madison could be like 8-1-1 in the last 10, which they are right now, or they could be like 4-5 in the last 10. Muskegon seems to be less streaky, and I think that's going to really come in handy down the stretch. Number 3 is going to be Madison. I think they're going to ride the wave that they're on right now, find a way to pick up some wins down the stretch, and keep that lead over Youngstown, especially since they have 2 games in hand. Speaking of Youngstown, I think they're going to be number 4. They're number 7. They have 7 points over Green Bay right now with 3 games in hand. If they find a way to go below Green Bay and have to travel to Green Bay, that would be a catastrophic failure for the last 19 games of their season. They have to host Green Bay in the first round, because it's going to be more than likely either them in Green Bay or them in Cedar Rapids. Because I don't see them getting second in the East. I mean, it's not impossible. They do have a game in hand on Muskegon, and they're only like 11 points behind them, I think, right now. Not impossible, but Muskegon's looking really good right now. So is Youngstown, for that matter. But both teams are looking good right now. Youngstown, if they didn't play Chicago this weekend, most teams in the USHL probably beat them. Muskegon's beating good teams just because they're straight up outplaying them most of the time. So we're going to have to see how it comes down the stretch. But number 5 is going to be Green Bay Gamblers, in my opinion. I think Youngstown's going to host Green Bay in the first round, and the Madison will host the number 6 seeded Cedar Rapids Rough Riders. They're 10 points ahead of Chicago. Yes, Chicago does have a game in hand, but they don't seem to win games like that, so they're probably going to lose the extra game in hand that they have. Sorry about that. But yeah, they're probably going to end up losing that extra game that they have in hand on Cedar Rapids. Probably going to end up losing that, knowing Chicago. So, yeah, Cedar Rapids 100,000,000% controls their own fate, and they have a lot of leeway to even lose a couple games to still make the playoffs here. So they're gonna definitely make the playoffs, because they're doing pretty decent right now. The 5-4-0-1 the last 10. 7's gonna probably be Chicago. Yeah, they're 8 points ahead of Team USA, but taking the Team USA, they're gonna be number 8. So, in my opinion, it's gonna be the exact same as it is right now. It's gonna stay that same way by the end of the season. In the West, number 1, Lincoln. They're 3 points ahead of Sioux Falls. Sioux Falls does have a game in hand. They play each other twice, but Lincoln's looking super, super good right now. So is Sioux Falls, but I think Lincoln's gonna get number 1. Number 2 is gonna be Sioux Falls Stampede. They're looking one of, if not the best teams in the USHL. Lincoln's probably looking number 1. Dubuque and them are probably number 2 and number 3 respectively. In the USHL, looking good wise. Yeah, like yeah, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, but number 3 is gonna be Waterloo. They're winning games at a pretty high rate right now, and I think they're gonna finish up number 3 because they have a game in hand on Fargo and Sioux City. 4, Fargo Force. I think Fargo Force are looking. Actually, no. I'm actually gonna say number 4 is gonna be Sioux City. I think Sioux City. Fargo's not. I mean, Fargo is looking good in these last 3 games. They are looking good, but I don't like their finishing. They're not finishing very well. When you have 50 shots and you only score 3 goals, and you have like 90 shots in 2 games, and you're only able to score like 5 goals, 6 goals, I think, and 90 shots, that's not good. That's not. It's not. Don't let that finishing. Sioux City is much better finishing than Fargo, and I think that's gonna come in clutch. I think offense is really good for the regular season, and defense is really good for the playoffs. So, but number 5, I think it's gonna be Fargo. Fargo's looking too good to fall below Tri-City, in my opinion. They have 11 points ahead of them right now. It's gonna be Sioux City and Fargo in the first round. That's gonna be very interesting playoff series. And number 6, Tri-City, they're looking good. 2 points ahead of Des Moines right now. And they have 2 games in hand, so they'll definitely control their own fate as well. I think Tri-State is going to get the number 16, number 7, Des Moines. They're not looking very good. They're not winning games, and they have a chance to tie Tri-City for that playoff spot. You even take the lead over them. But so yeah, I think the number 8, obviously Omaha. Basically, just they're the Omaha Lancers. So yeah, go to review yesterday's Four Nations face-off game. Finland versus Sweden is one of the biggest hockey rivalries in general, because the Finnish had first goal season on assist at 8:30, your first goal of the tournament, on assist at 8:35 in the first period, opened the game. It opened the scoring for Finland. Anton Lundell, first goal of the tournament to Lushtarinen, Patrick Laine, 10:58 in the first period. The two Panthers get in the 2-on-1 and they don't mess it up. Mikko Rantanen, first goal season, power play goal by Laine. Sebastian Aho, about 14 seconds left in the first period. Rasmus Dahlin, first goal season by Edison, and 5:06 in the second period. He bats it home. Here he puts it home. A good finish. Erik Karlsson's first goal of the tournament by Nylander, 10:32 in the second period. And a good find. Karlsson going in about like 22, 23 miles per hour. Finishes it. Snipe. Volkov, first goal of the tournament by Kapokako and Mata, 17:05 in the second period. A great feed in front to Mata where Kapokako tips it, and right before it crosses the goal line, Volkov gets a tip of it with his stick. Goes in. They give credit. Oops, I forgot. Okay, we got something fell off my desk, but we chill. Okay, but yeah, Captain Volkov ties it up. It goes to overtime, and in overtime, Kevin Lankin makes a ridiculous save. It's in the crease, wide open, with Lankin his back turned to him. He kicks it out. Nikola gives it to Grenlund. He goes up. His first goal of the tournament. It's the overtime winner. 149 in overtime. Beats Omar 5-4. Great finish. What a game, bro. What a game is all I gotta say. What a game. What a game. That's all I gotta say. What a game. So yeah, we got USA and Canada. Oh. So we dropped the puck, right? 2 seconds into the game, Matthew Tkachuk and Braden Hagel dropped the gloves. I didn't even know if I was going to see a fight this whole tournament. 2 seconds into the game, Canada and USA, here we go. And then the dust gets settled. They go to the box, collect their stuff, go to the box. You know, right? There's going to be a face-off right after. You know what Brady Tkachuk and Sam Bennett do? The ref drops the puck. They drop the gloves. Brady Tkachuk, Sam Bennett drop the gloves. And then after that, Brady Tkachuk goes to the penalty box. High fives his brother in the box. They sit in the box. About 6 seconds later, there's a shot. There's some pushing and shoving. JT Miller and Colton Parayko, they drop the gloves. 3 fights in 9 seconds. That's one fight every 3 seconds to start this game. What a game. What a start. And then Jordan Binnington makes a save. Drew Doughty gives a ridiculous pass to Connor McDavid in full stride. 23 miles per hour. Forehand, backhand, holds his backhand for a little bit. Beats Hellebuck. Bell Center goes absolutely electric. McDavid's absolutely pumped. It was a great little celly. 5:31 in the first period. He gets it done for Canada. Jay Guns' second goal of the tournament by Iko Nerensky, 10:15 first period. Definitely one that Binnington would like back, but USA ties it up. Dylan Larkin, first goal of the tournament, a Detroit Red Wing representative by Matt Bodie. That's a Minnesota Wild representative. 13:33 in the second period. Larkin snipe on a 2-on-1. USA leads. Jay Guns' second and night, third goal of the tournament. Empty net by Larkin and Faber. 18:41 in the third period. 25 saves and 26 shots against for Hellebuck. He continues to be far and away the best goalie in the NHL this season. I know it's not necessarily just this season alone, but just in general. Best goalie. He's a show stealer again. Finds a way to do it every time, no matter how big the stage is. I love the Four Nations tournament. It's so fun. All those guys look like they want to be there just as much as that was the Stanley Cup final. Most of those guys said that was the most important game of their career. I'm not even lying to you. There's multiple people that said that was the most important game of the season. Of the career. In an all-star break, which was normally supposed to be an all-star break. But that's crazy to me. But yeah, here's the most surprising NHL teams that's made today. No particular order. So yeah, I think you guys got the point, right? Okay, so yeah, let's get straight into it here. And the first one I put is pretty obvious. I mean, it's the Washington Capitals. They have 80 points. 727 point percentage, number 1 in the Metropolitan Division, number 1 in the Eastern Conference, number 2 in the league. They have the best point percentage in the NHL, but only 1 point behind the Winnipeg Jets and with 1 game in hand. Washington Capitals are expected to be either a wild card team at best. Some people, including myself, had them missing the playoffs, and now they're the best team in the league by point percentage. So, I mean, yeah, they've been ridiculous. I know some people call them frauds, but I kind of like them in the playoffs. But I don't know. I'll have to see. Talk about that another time. But the Minnesota Wild have 70 points, 625 point percentage. Number 3 in the Central, number 5 in the West, number 8 in the league. This team was expected to probably miss the playoffs in a lot of people, including myself's eyes. But they're pretty safe bet to make the playoffs at this point of the season. There's only about like 20-ish games left. Yeah, probably like 30 to 20 games. Depends what team. Winnipeg Jets have 81 points, 723 point percentage, number 1 in the Central, number 1 in the West, number 1 in the league. Technically number 2 in the league in point percentage, only a .004 point percentage behind Washington Capitals, but they have 1 more point than them and 1 extra game played. Another one, the Calgary Flames, they have 60 points, 545 point percentage, 5 in the Pacific. 3rd in the Western Conference wild card race. Number 9 in the West, number 17 in the league. It's more particular to the start that they're number 1 in the Pacific Division for a few weeks coming into for like a month, first month of the season. It kind of fell off. That's why the stats don't look that good. But the 5th team I think I have on here, yeah, Columbus Blue Jackets. They have 60 points, 536 point percentage. 4th in the Metro, 3rd in the Eastern Conference wild card race. Number 9 in the East, number 18 in the league. Them and the Flames are basically the same stats. Columbus Blue Jackets is projected to be a bottom 3 team in the NHL this season, maybe bottom 5 if they got lucky, but they're right there in the wild card mix to try to get a playoff spot. New York Rangers are expected to either be number 2, maybe even number 1 in the Metropolitan Division, coming off winning the President Trophy last season, which is the best regular season team if you didn't know. But yeah, right now they have 58 points, a 527 point percentage, 5th in the Metro, 5th in the Eastern Conference wild card race, 11th in the East, and 20th in the league. They're very disappointed season. I still think they're going to find a way to squeak in the playoffs. It's either going to be them or the Red Wings, in my opinion, get that second wildcard spot. But let's see what they can do. I also have the Boston Bruins here, my last team. They have 60 points, 526 point percentage, 6th in the Atlantic, 4th in the Eastern Conference wildcard race, 10th in the East, and 19th in the league. Them and New York Rangers also basically have the same stats. Right there. They were supposed to be at least a top 3 team in the Atlantic coming into the season. Had a terrible start to the season. Got Coach Jim Montgomery fired, and then had a bit of a bounce back there when Joe Sacco took over, and then they've been pretty inconsistent since then. They've had the flashes of good stuff, and then they have the flashes of not so good things. So yeah, that's going to do it for today's podcast episode. Hope you enjoyed the USHL Sunday and agreed with my NHL most surprising teams. If you night watchers, live watchers after 11 night, you can have a great morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time you're watching it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. To post notification channel if you haven't already. Like this video if you haven't already. Follow this podcast if you watch this on Spotify. You go ahead and follow my Spotify. Even if you're not watching this on Spotify, go ahead and follow my YouTube even if you watch this on Spotify. It's Intermission Podcast on Spotify and on YouTube. Hope you enjoyed today's episode 18 of season 9 for USHL Sunday and most surprising NHL team so far. I'll see you guys tomorrow for episode 19 of season 9 for NHL Monday. See you there. Peace.